Hello friends, now let us continue our lecture review series on gastroesophageal reflux disease. So in my last lecture I have dealt till etiology, clinical features, diagnosis, investigations were dealt. So right now I am dealing with the treatment aspect of GERD, which is very important and it contains many new names. So let us learn about the treatment of gastroesophageal reflux disease. It is mainly divided into three major side headings. Number one, it includes general measures, and number two, number two, medical management, number three, surgical management. So now coming to general measures of gastroesophageal reflux disease. Number one, it is mainly in adults. So first we'll deal in adults and later in children. In adults, to control obesity. We will have to control obesity and then ask the person to stop smoking and alcohol, because these are the risk factors of GERD. And avoid coffee and chocolate and decrease stress. So basically we will ask the individual to avoid the factors which are responsible for gastroesophageal reflux disease. Next, lifestyle modification. Ask the person to sleep in propped up position. Right? Always after eating, it is better to be in propped up position, and we have to advise the person to take small frequent meals and to avoid spicy foods. And then always we should ask the person to elevate the head end of the bed. Whenever the head end of the bed is elevated, this will generally, whenever the head end of the bed is elevated, there is no reflux of acid because of the esophagus is placed against the gravity compared to stomach in this position. So this will decrease gastroesophageal reflux disease. So these are the general measures in adults. Now coming to the general measures in infants. In infants, generally we should ask them to be in left lateral position rather than in propped up position, and the head end should be elevated and the infant is placed in left lateral position. Generally, the main reason for gastroesophageal reflux disease in children is due to artificial feeds, which are mostly composed of liquids. Right? So we should add some thickening to the artificial feeds or formula given to the infants. So this is added by adding rice cereals. Rice or cereals like wheat or something else. Mostly rice is preferred because that is good for the infants. So weight gain should be advised to the infants. So that will increase the energy density. So what are the drugs which can be used in children? In children we can use ranitidine, which is an H2 blocker, which is most commonly used. And then we can also use proton pump inhibitors, which are composed of omeprazole, lansoprazole and esomeprazole in children. So all these are the drugs which are used in children. Now coming to the drugs in adults. In adults, we can use H2 blockers, antacids, proton pump inhibitors and prokinetics. We will deal about these drugs later clearly when we deal gastric ulcers. So now coming to the third type of therapy, which is endoluminal therapy. Here all these treatments are done through endoscope. So through endoscope we will introduce an endoscope and we will enter this lower esophageal junction, that is gastroesophageal junction, and we can suture it. So that is called as endoluminal suturing. And even the ulcers can be sutured. So this is endoluminal suturing by Wilson Cook. And sometimes through the endoscope we can pass a plexiform microsphere, and then we inject this microsphere suspended in gelatin into the lower esophageal sphincter. So whenever this is injected, the lower esophageal sphincter tissue is bulked and thickened, that is hypertrophied. Because of thickening of lower esophageal sphincter, there is decreased relaxation of lower esophageal sphincter, right? And then the third one which is done through endoscope is gatekeeper reflux repair system. In gatekeeper reflux repair system, a radio-opaque hydrogel is injected into the submucosa through the endoscope. Whenever a radio-opaque hydrogel is injected into the submucosa through the endoscope, this causes tissue bulking again. So the major reasons why this is used is simple tissue bulking. So whenever the tissue is bulked or thickened, that will cause the contraction of lower esophageal sphincter and prevent relaxation of lower esophageal sphincter. The other techniques which can be used endoscopically include Stretta catheter, Enterix injection technique, Endocinch technique, endoscopic full thickness plication. I really don't know the major procedure which is done in these 4 situations. If you guys know, please post it in the comment section. So these are the major techniques which are used endoscopically. Now let us come to the surgeries which are done in gastroesophageal reflux disease. Number 1, laparoscopic fundoplication, which is Nissen's fundoplication. So let us deal about this in the next class, because this is becoming a longer video. Thank you guys.